Hello, this is Bruce from Big Fish Software, and in this video we're going to talk about configuring workouts. So I currently have 3 workouts that are defined in the winter season 2018, and I can use the top bar here to select or change between different seasons that I have. And as I do that, the list will fill in with workouts that were found for that season. It will also fill in right below the season selection a list of all the groups that have workouts in that season, so you can switch between the different groups. So in this video, let's go through and create a new workout. So I'm going to hit the plus button. And by default, it will default to the season that you had selected, that you were currently viewing the list from. And let me just go and select March 2nd. That's the day we're on. Let's say we're going to create a new workout for that. Hit the next button up at the top. And I can select what time that workout's going to be. Let's say it's... let's say it's since it's a Saturday, we're going to start at 8 a.m. and then we go to the next screen, and finally I can put in a title for this workout. I can select what group I want, and I can see in the group list here, these are all groups that I've defined. I'm going to select silver for this group. I can also select a subgroup, and we'll say this is for the sprint group. The course, transition. The transition is the amount of time that will factor in to the workout when we're calculating times. So let's say, for example, your workout starts at 8 a.m. Let's say you're anticipating it going till 9:30 a.m. The transition, every time you transition from one set to another, will add in this time behind the scenes, so that it'll give you time to give instructions to the swimmers and all, and still be able to make give you a better representation of how long your workout will actually take to run if you don't go from set to set without any time in between. So we can select the course, we can give it some notes, and we'll just say first workout. Okay, and so now we have everything configured. If I wanted to change, let's say I made a mistake on the time, I could use the buttons at the top and just click on the date or the time button up here, and that'll take me back and let me change the time. But and when we did that, we lost our note, so I'll have to take a look at that. I'll put that back in. First workout. I am running on the beta version of the app, so hopefully we'll have all these bugs worked out before we finally release the app. So after I hit save, it'll take me in, and now I've created this workout. And I noticed that the other thing that I lost when I went back and changed the time was the group. So the group is incorrect. I wanted this for silver. I can see up at the top it's set for gold. So I'm going to hit the edit button and just change that to silver and save that. And now everything looks good. So some of the options that we have is up at the top. The first section there is the workout itself, all the basic details about the workout, including the notes that you had for the workout. The icons in that list, the first one, the one on the left, is an attendance icon. So if I click on that, I'll be able to use this to take attendance, and we'll talk about attendance later on in another video, but that's what that icon means. A little clipboard with the checkbox is the attendance. The middle icon is a pace clock, and once again, we'll go into that in more detail in another video, but that's how you would start up the pace clock. And then finally, the little plus in the circle there is how we get start adding sets. And I can either add that workout item through that plus icon, or I can click on the add workout item because I don't have any items in my workout yet. So I'll just click on the plus icon here. And it asks me what kind of, what I want to add. So let's start out by adding a label. And there's two kinds of labels. We can either format it as a section label, or we can format it as more of a note kind of information. But let's call this warm up. Never been very good at typing on a phone. So we'll save that. And now we have our label in here. And let's start adding sets to that. So for our warm up, we're going to add a set. And when we add a set, there's a lot of things going on here. But all of these options we have default settings for. So if you saw the intro, the getting started video that we had, it talks about the different workout settings. So under the settings tab in this app, you can go in and define what your default workout settings are. And we have that defined as 1050s on the minute. But let's say I just want to do 1-300 because it's for warm up, and we'll do that on 5 minutes. And as I type that in, this primary set, so 300 on the 5 minutes, it will actually calculate out and show me, okay, it will take 5 minutes to run this. Well, that's pretty obvious. But then the 50 pace time, so to complete this on 5 minutes, you have to do at least 50 seconds for each 50. So you can use that information to gauge whether or not your swimmers are going to have enough time to finish the set. So the stroke, so I can choose a stroke, and let's just say this is going to be freestyle. And I'm going to choose work, and that's going to be swim. And I could choose modifier. I don't have to. Nothing really makes sense here for the warm-up, so I'm going to skip that. And then I can select an energy, and this is just warm-up, so I'm going to set that. In addition, I can type in any free-form notes that I have in this section down at the bottom. But this is a pretty good start, so let's hit save. And now we see that we have our workout. And let's go through and add another set real quick. So we'll also do 1-300 on the 6 minutes. And this one is going to be freestyle, and it's going to be kick. Once again, no modifier. We'll set it up for warm-up and recovery, and we'll save that. So that's basically how you start building up your workout. Let's say you forgot something. You're like, oh, you know what? I wanted to do a pull set before that kick set. So there's a couple things I could do. Is one, I could add the pull set. Why don't we go through and just do that now? And we'll just do 1-300 on the 5 minutes again. And that's going to be freestyle pull. And that's going to be warm up also. We'll save that. Now, as I said, I wanted the pull set before the kick set. Well, once I have these sets in here, I can click on that. And there's little icons at the bottom for the selected cell that will allow me to do different things. So let's talk about those. From left to right, so we have another plus with the circle around it, and that means add another set. So if I wanted to add a set beneath this currently selected set, I could click on that and hit the plus button. The next icon is the one with the little square with the arrows. That's if I want to change this set from a set into a circuit. click on that, and it allows me to type in the number of circuit repeats that I want. So it's very easy to change something into a circuit. The middle icon has a box with an up arrow, so that is going to move this set up one. So that's how I can rearrange the sets that I currently have in the workout. And if I want to show you, if I click on one of the other ones that's in the middle somewhere, it also has one to move it down. Okay. The next icon, the box with a little pencil in it, that is how I edit this set. So if I made a mistake in setting this up, let's say I wanted to add notes. Let's just say we'll add a note of easy. I can edit that right in place. And then there's also the garbage can. If I don't want this set in here anymore, I can simply delete it with the garbage can. So that's setting up sets in a workout. And then all these things, as I'm making the changes, these save automatically. So when I'm done, I'll just click the done button. Now, you don't see that workout on the list, and the reason is that workout was created for the silver group, and my list is showing the gold group workouts. So if I click on silver, now you see our workout starts at 8 a.m., ends at 8:17, and it's 900 total yards. If I click on that cell, that gets me back into the workout and allows me to start editing it again. So let's look at some of the other options that we have for sets. So I'm going to click on the plus again. And here I have, we looked at the add label. We added the warm-up label. There's also an add circuit button and an add rest button. So let's add some rest. In rest, I can give it a description and a time. And once again, these are default values that are configured in the settings. I'll just take that. So now I have a minute rest after the warm-up. And let's add a circuit. So a circuit, we just need to define the number of times we're going to repeat the circuit. So I'm gonna do this 3 times. And once I do that, it creates a circuit, and it just puts a little label in here to kind of get you started. But once again, you can delete that label if you want. But let's say let's add a couple sets in here, and I'm just going to choose the defaults. So we added 1050s, and I'm going in to add the sets by selecting the plus within the selected set. Okay, so I've added a couple of sets in the circuit. Let me delete this circuit label. I don't need that. So now I have 2 sets in the circuit that we're going to run through 3 times. And if I look at the very bottom here, now my workout, which starts at 8 a.m., is scheduled to end at 9:19 a.m. And we got 3,900 yards for the total workout. So it keeps telling you, it'll show you the times, and in each cell it actually shows you the anticipated time you should be starting that set. And then it totals up your yardage and tells you when it's going to end. So with this circuit, there's a couple of things. So now I have the circuit here, and the little box in the header of the circuit, if I click on that, the little box with the lines in it, that gives me some options for the circuit itself. So I can change the number of repeats. I can move this circuit ahead of the previous set or down if there's another set below it. Or I can delete the circuit. So let's say I set the circuit up. I'm like, I only want to run through this one time. And instead of leaving it as a one-time circuit, I'm going to delete it. So when I delete it, it gives me the options. It says, well, you have some sets in there. What do you want to do with the sets? Do you want to keep them or do you want to delete them also? So if I keep the sets, then it deletes the circuit, but I have those 2 sets now in my main workout. So that's a little bit about circuits. The last thing I want to show you, we'll probably get into more in the pace clock, but there's a special kind of set that we can do. And so I'm going to add a set, and you see up the top of the sets, it allows you to add variations. And this is a feature that was in workouts for swim coaches. There's been some confusion about it, but basically what variations are, it's a way of setting up sets that will run on different intervals. And really it's intended for a situation where maybe you're coaching 3 lanes, and the swimmers in the first lane are a little bit stronger than the second lane and a little bit stronger than the third lane. So what you could do is you want them all to run the same basic workout, but you want to push the kids that are a little bit stronger and have them go a little bit more. So let's say that's the situation I have. So I'm going to change over to 3 variations. And I'm going to set up my primary set. So this would be for the strongest swimmers. And I'll do 1050s on the 45. And then what I can do is, now that I have that set up, I can have my 2 alternates. Maybe the primary set's for lane 1 and the alternate set is for lanes 2 and 3. So if I click on the little clock with the arrow, that will allow me to choose permutations based on the primary set. And actually, I think there's a problem when I changed that primary set, it didn't recalculate these. So I'm just gonna click off the variations and click it back on again. So what it can do is calculate off of that primary set. So the primary set's going to run for 7 minutes. So I want all these other sets to run for 7 minutes, because when I'm running this workout, I want all 3 lanes to be in sync. Okay, so the primary set's 1050s on the 45. The first alternate, I'm going to hit the permutations, and I could do 950s on the 50, which would be very similar in total amount of time. So I'll do that. Click on that, and you see that by doing 950s on the 50 seconds, that is also going to run in about 7 minutes. And then for the third lane, maybe we're going to do 750s on the 104. Okay, so and that's going to run in approximately 7 minutes. It'll actually be a little bit longer. So when you execute this, or when you run this workout and you're using the pace clock feature, what will happen is it will split the pace clock up and show 3 different times, and it will take you through these 3 different variations on this set. And it will run these individually, and once all of these are done, once each of these variations is done, then it will go on to whatever the next set is in your workout. Okay, so it's not really intended to define multiple different workouts. It's intended to allow you to set up a workout, but define or allow the pace clock to use different intervals for different skill levels. So that's pretty much it in terms of the workouts. So now I have my workout. It shows I have 2,400 yards, and I will finish at 847. So in a future video, we'll be looking at the pace clock a little bit more and some of the attendance options. I hope this helps. Thanks.